I'm going to discuss a very common scenario for criminal lawyers in general, and in particular impaired driving lawyers. So, we will get a phone call in the middle of a night from the police station. A client's been charged with impaired driving, and the police have brought them back to the police station, and they're about to do, they've made a breath demand for the intoxilizer, or they suspect or have reasonable grounds that they're under the influence of drugs. So they've done a drug recognition evaluation demand, which is a series of tests, coordination tests, taking blood pressure, all sorts of 12-step process that a trained drug recognition expert is doing, and possibly also taking a urine sample from them. So what do we say? Let's take the alcohol situation. So I get on the phone, I'll ask the police officer, what are you charging with? We're about to take a breath sample test. I'll get on the phone with a client. I don't waste a lot of time. There's no use us getting into all the facts. They need to know certain information. They've exercised their right to counsel, which is an important right. I go over that in another video. You really need to phone a lawyer in this situation because you need to know what to do. So first and foremost, I say, look, you've been charged with impaired driving. I know that. And this takes a few minutes of advice. You've got to really, I'll make it simple and clean though here for the purpose of this video. Number one, you have to provide breath samples. They've made a demand, it's required in the law, it's a criminal offense not to, and do provide. If you refuse, you're going to be charged with offense that has at least the same penalties as the impaired driving or blowing over, okay? So do that. And you know what? You may blow under, which would be fantastic. You might not get charged, obviously, right? That's the first piece of advice. Equally important, I don't want the client answering any questions. Any questions the police ask, I don't want them answering. Between the two breath samples, the police will typically take out this checklist of questions, and it's a disaster answering those questions. You just say, no, I'm not answering them. You also talk as little as possible. I don't want you engaging in any social chit chat with the police for whatever reason. Like, just shut up and tell them, nothing. You don't need to say anything. Just say something. Just sit there, say nothing. Provide the breath sample. So why should you not engage in benign social chit chat? Well, I'll give you a very good reason, and this is very clear. The police are examining you at all times. You're on a video. The minute you slur, or second you slur, for example, it's evidence against you. So just a little bit of social chit chat, you're going to mess up. Maybe at one point it's going to be a slur, or the police are going to perceive you're slurring and say you're slurring. So just exercise your right to remain silent is the bottom line. So that's my quick advice for an impaired case involving alcohol and drug. You have to do the drug recognition evaluation test, and the same advice on that. If they're looking for that, you shut up and say nothing other than that, and don't engage in any social chit chat. If you don't really have a record for impaired, unless you have a serious record for impaired, they're going to release you after that. Maybe not right away. They're going to, depending on what your reading is, they have a formula for how many hours they're going to hold you in custody. They go by this chart they have. So just as an example, if you have a reading of, 100 milligrams of alcohol, which is 20 over the legal limit, they might release you in 4 or 5 hours as an example. If the readings are higher, they might wait longer. So they want to release you at the point they think you're reasonably sober. They don't want to release you to the public otherwise. But the bottom line, if they've made demands, you've got to comply with them, whether it's a drug recognition evaluation demand or a breath sample demand, and you need to keep quiet and not say anything. You don't even engage in social chit chat. So that's the 5 or 10 minute conversation I have with a client who phones me in the middle of the night asking advice for impaired by alcohol or impaired by drugs. Thank you for watching our video. We are absolutely committed to bringing you the best possible criminal and DUI educational videos. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you've been charged with a criminal offense in Ontario and require our services, please click on the link in the description below.